My wife declared, "You're going to be the free photographer for my sister's wedding. It's family." I said, "No problem." Then I showed up without batteries in my camera and just ate the buffet food. When the bride asked for the photos the next day, my wife realized what I had done. Original post mail. I'm a professional photographer. I don't mean I have a nice Instagram and a ring light. I mean I have business insurance, a dedicated studio space, and gear that costs more than my first 3 cars combined. I shoot high-end commercial work and select weddings. My rate for a wedding starts at a very firm, very non-negotiable $4,000. And that's for the basic package. My wife, 30 female, knows this. She knows the hours I spend editing until my eyes feel like they're bleeding. She knows the back pain. She knows the stress of managing bridezillas who think the sun should change its position in the sky just for them. But my wife comes from a family where boundaries is a dirty word and no is just a suggestion. Her younger sister, my sister-in-law, Sail, got engaged about a year ago. She is the definition of the golden child. She's never heard the word budget in her life, mostly because my father-in-law, Phil, and mother-in-law have spent her entire existence smoothing the road in front of her with cash. The trouble started during a family dinner a few months ago. We were at her parents' house eating pot roast that was dry enough to choke a camel. The Sail clinked her glass with a fork. "Great news," she announced, flashing her ring. "We found the venue. It's that vineyard out in the valley. The one with the weeping willows. That place is $6,000 just to unlock the doors," I commented, taking a sip of water. "It's perfect," my Mael gushed, "and we're going to save so much money on the other vendors to make it work." She turned her gaze toward me. It was a shark-like gaze, predatory. "We have the photographer sorted out already," I continued chewing. "I assumed they hired someone cheap." "You," my wife said, squeezing my hand, "you're going to do it, as our wedding gift to them." I stopped chewing. I swallowed the dry beef with difficulty. "Excuse me? It's perfect." The sill squealed. "I want that look you did for the magazine cover last month. Mood lighting, editorial. I sent you a Pinterest board with like 300 ideas." I pulled my hand away from my wife. "I don't work for free," I said. My voice was calm, but the temperature in the room dropped about 10 degrees. "My gear wears out, my time is valuable, and frankly, I want to be a guest. I want to drink champagne and dance with my wife, not carry 40 pounds of glass on my back for 12 hours. "It's family," my Phil grunted. "You don't charge family, that's tacky." "What's tacky," I countered, "is volunteering my professional services without asking me. That's $5,000 of labor you're giving away." "Oh my God," the CL started to tear up. The lip wobbled. "He doesn't want to do it. He hates me." "I don't hate you," I said. "I hate working for free." My wife stood up. "Kitchen. Now." We went into the kitchen. She closed the door and turned on me with a face I barely recognized. It wasn't disappointment. It was pure, unadulterated entitlement. "You are going to do this," she hissed. "You are embarrassing me. My parents do everything for us." Narrator's note, they bought us a microwave 3 years ago. That's it. "I'm not a prop, and I'm not a servant," I said. "If they want me to shoot, they sign a contract and they pay the fee. Friends and family discount is 20%. That's it. If you don't do this," she said, looking me dead in the eye, "don't bother coming home tonight. This is my sister. This is important to me. If you love me, you will do this. Just take the damn pictures. Stop being so selfish." I looked at her, really looked at her. I saw the ultimatum. I saw that my value to her was conditional on my utility to her family. She was willing to leverage our marriage to save her daddy a few grand. That was the moment the switch flipped. It wasn't rage, it was something colder. It was clarity. "Fine," I said. "I'll do it." Her face instantly relaxed into a smug smile. She thought she'd won. "See? Was that so hard? You're the best." "No problem," I said. "It's family." For the next 3 months, I was the model photographer. I answered the CL's 2 a.m. texts about lighting. I nodded along when the NIL told me which specific wrinkles she wanted edited out of her neck in post-production. I let them treat me like hired help. The morning of the wedding arrived. I put on my suit. I grabbed my dual-camera harness. I packed my 2 main bodies, top-of-the-line, full-frame mirrorless beasts. I grabbed my holy trinity of lenses. I looked the part. I left my memory cards in a neat stack on my desk. I left every single battery in the charger on the nightstand. I arrived at the venue. The SIL was already screaming at a bridesmaid because the sash on her dress was the wrong shade of blush. "You're here." She snapped at me. "Okay, get to work. I want candid shots of us getting ready. Make me look skinny." "You got it," I said. I raised the camera. I looked through the viewfinder. I framed the shot perfectly, and I didn't press a thing. Even if I had, the shutter wouldn't have fired. It was a dead brick of magnesium alloy in my hands. For the next 10 hours, I put on the performance of a lifetime. I crouched in the bushes. I climbed on chairs to get the angle. I directed people. Chin down, turn to the left, beautiful. I held the camera up, adjusted the focus ring manually so it looked like I was working, and nodded approvingly at the back of the camera as if checking the LCD screen. During the ceremony, I was front and center. I walked backward down the aisle. I got right in the officiant's face. I captured the kiss, the tears, the exit. During the reception, they sat me at the vendor table, not with the family, with the DJ and the caterers. My wife was at the head table, laughing, not even looking at me. "Rough gig?" the DJ asked me, shoveling pasta into his mouth. "You have no idea," I said. I ate the buffet food, I drank the wine, I put the camera down on the table and just watched. I watched them celebrate. I watched my Phil brag to his friends about how he got the best photographer in the state to do it for free because he knows who butters his bread. I almost choked on my roll. At the end of the night, the SAL came up to me, sweaty and drunk. "I can't wait to see them. You have to send me a sneak peek tomorrow morning, for Instagram." "I'll see what I can do," I said. "No, seriously, tomorrow morning, or I'll kill you." She laughed, but she wasn't joking. I drove home with my wife. She was beaming. "You were great today," she said. "My parents are so proud. Thank you for stepping up." "I did exactly what you asked," I said. I slept like a baby that night. The little green lights on my battery charger acted like a nightlight, guiding me into a peaceful slumber. Update 1. The morning after was quiet. Too quiet. I woke up around 8 a.m. My wife was still asleep, hungover from the cheap champagne. I went into the kitchen, made a pot of coffee, and sat down at the island. I could see my office from where I sat. The memory cards were still stacked on the desk, right where I left them. At 9:30 a.m., my phone buzzed. "Hey, just woke up married, lol. Where are the pics? I need to post." I took a sip of coffee. "Ryan, hello? Mom is asking too." My wife shuffled into the kitchen a few minutes later, holding her head. "Ugh, my sister is blowing up my phone. She wants the previews. Can you just send her 5 or 10 good ones so she shuts up?" "I can't do that," I said calmly. "Why? Is the internet down?" She poured herself a cup, not looking at me. "No, the internet is fine." "Then just transfer them to your phone and text them. It takes 2 seconds. "I can't transfer what doesn't exist." She paused. The cup stopped halfway to her mouth. She turned slowly to look at me. "What did you say?" "I said I can't transfer files that don't exist." "I don't get it. You were taking pictures all day. I saw you." "You saw me holding a camera," I corrected. "You saw me standing in the right places, but you didn't see me taking pictures." I stood up and walked over to my office. She followed, confused. I pointed to the charger on the nightstand. 4 batteries, fully charged. Then I pointed to the stack of SD cards. "I didn't bring batteries," I said. "And I didn't bring memory cards." She stared at the charger. Her brain was trying to reject the information. It was like watching a computer crash in real time. "So, you used spares? You bought new ones?" "No, the cameras were dead. Bricks. Paperweights. I didn't take a single photo. Not one. 0. Is this a joke?" Her voice started to tremble. "Because it's not funny. Tell me it's a prank." "The prank," I said, leaning against the doorframe, "was you and your family thinking you could bully me into $5,000 of free labor. You told me to be the photographer or don't bother coming home. So I was the photographer. I played the role perfectly. You ruined her wedding." It came out as a whisper. "No, she had a wedding. She got married. She has memories. She just doesn't have the high-resolution proof to farm for likes on social media. You psychopath." She lunged at me. It was instantaneous. She threw her coffee cup. Luckily it missed and hit the wall, shattering, and started hammering her fists against my chest. "Fix it. Go back and fix it. Do something." "I can't fix it. The moment is gone." She ran to the bedroom, grabbing her phone. I heard her screaming to her mother. "He didn't take them. Mom, he didn't take any. He tricked us." I knew I had about 20 minutes before the in-laws descended like a SWAT team. I went to my safe, I took my passport, my cash reserves, and the hard drives containing my actual paying clients' work. I packed a bag. I walked past her in the hallway. She was on the floor, sobbing. "Where are you going?" she screamed. "You can't leave. You have to fix this. I'm going to a hotel, and then I'm getting a lawyer." I checked into a decent hotel downtown. I turned my phone off. When I turned it back on 3 hours later, the notifications were a solid wall of text. "You are evil. You are a sick man. I am going to sue you for everything you have. This is fraud. I hope you die. You ruined my life. Wife, I am emptying the joint account. You deserve nothing." I saw that last text and immediately logged into my banking app. She had already initiated a transfer for the full balance, about $18,000. I called the bank's fraud line immediately. "My wife and I are separating, and she is draining the marital assets unauthorized. Freeze it." They froze the account pending investigation. Then, I called my lawyer. Let's call him Dan. Dan is expensive, but he's mean. I like Dan. "So," Dan said after I explained the situation. He was trying not to laugh. "Let me verify. Did you sign a contract?" "No." "Did you accept any payment, even $1, a gas card?" "I ate some dry chicken and drank 2 glasses of house wine. That's it." "And you never verbally agreed to a specific deliverable? You just said you'd do it?" I said, "No problem." Dan chuckled. "Okay. Well, they can't sue you for breach of contract because there was no consideration. No payment means no contract in this context. They can't sue you for fraud because you didn't take money. They can try to sue for emotional distress, but good luck with that. However, your marriage is definitely over." "I figured that part out, Dan." The next few days were a siege. My phone didn't stop ringing. Random numbers. Cousins I hadn't seen in 5 years calling to tell me I was a disgrace. The Sile went onto Facebook. She wrote a post that was so long it had a "See More" button. She claimed I maliciously sabotaged her wedding out of jealousy. She claimed I demanded $10,000, and when they refused, I deleted the photos. A lie, obviously. She tagged my photography business page. Within an hour, I had 21-star reviews on Google. "Unprofessional scumbag, ruined a bride's day. Do not trust this man." This was the escalation I was waiting for. They wanted to play with my livelihood? Okay. I went to my business page. I posted a public statement regarding the recent influx of reviews from the last name family and friends. I was never hired to shoot this wedding. I was a guest. The family demanded I work for free after I declined. When threatened with an ultimatum by my spouse, I attended the wedding. Guests are not required to deliver professional work. I did not delete photos. I simply did not work for free. If you want professional services, please sign a contract and pay a deposit. I also included a screenshot of a text from the Sile from 3 months ago. "Sile, I don't care if it's your job, your family. Just do it. Mom says you don't need to be paid." The internet loves a villain, but it loves a receipt more. The local community saw the screenshot. The Bridezilla's groups got a hold of it. The reviews started getting reported and removed as spam. My wife, well, my ex, is currently staying at her parents' house. She sent me an email yesterday, since I blocked her number. Subject: truce. If you edit the photos, I know you have them. Stop lying. We can drop the divorce. My parents are willing to forgive you if you just deliver the album. I didn't reply. There are no photos. There is no album. There is only the sweet, silent justice of a blank memory card. Update 2. It's been 3 weeks since the wedding of the century. I'm currently living in an Airbnb that smells like lavender and other people's choices, but it's peaceful. The fallout has escalated from family drama to legal warfare. My father-in-law, a man who thinks money can buy gravity, hired a lawyer, a real ambulance chaser type. I received a demand letter via courier at my studio. They are demanding $25,000. The breakdown of damages is hilarious. $5,000 for the value of the photography package I didn't deliver. $10,000 for the cost of restaging the wedding, hair, makeup, venue rental, etc. $10,000 for intentional infliction of emotional distress. I handed the letter to Dan. Dan used a red pen to circle the word consideration and drew a question mark next to it. "They are bluffing," Dan said. They know they have no case. They're trying to scare you into settling. But here's the fun part. Since they filed this claim, we can now request discovery. Discovery? I asked. If they want to claim financial damages, we get to look at their financials to see if they could have afforded a photographer in the first place, establishing that they preyed on you specifically. We sent a response. We reject all claims. We are prepared to go to court. Please forward all financial records regarding the wedding budget. They went quiet on the lawsuit real fast. Apparently, the Aphael's finances aren't as pristine as he pretends. But the Aphael wasn't done. She realized the online smear campaign backfired, so she went for the jugular. She called the police. I was at my studio editing a commercial shoot for a shoe brand when 2 officers walked in. "Sir, we have a report of theft," the older officer said. He looked bored. "Theft of what?" "A wedding album and camera equipment belonging to Mrs. last name. My ex-wife told the police that she bought my camera gear during the marriage and that I had stolen it when I left the house." I calmly walked to my filing cabinet. I pulled out the receipts for my 2 main camera bodies and my 3 best lenses, all dated 4 years ago, before we were married. "I bought these before the wedding," I said. "They are premarital assets, and there is no wedding album because I didn't take any photos." The cop looked at the receipts. He looked at me. "So, it's a civil dispute?" "It's a divorce," I said. "Right? Have a nice day." They walked out. That was a mistake on her part. Filing a false police report is a bad look in family court. My ex-wife is realizing that without my income, her lifestyle is unsustainable. She works part-time as a social media coordinator for a boutique that gets maybe 3 customers a day. She brings in about $1,500 a month. Our mortgage is $2,800. She can't pay the bills. She asked for temporary spousal support. My lawyer argued that since she's staying with her parents and I am paying the mortgage on the house I can't live in, she doesn't need support. The judge agreed. But the most satisfying part? The reshoot. I heard this from a mutual friend who is still on the fence, but leaning towards Team Me because he likes beer and I buy the beer. The family decided to restage the wedding photos. They couldn't get the venue back because the venue wanted another $6,000. So they went to a public park. They dragged the groom, the bridesmaids, and the groomsmen out on a Sunday. But they still didn't want to pay full price. They hired a student photographer from the local community college. Poor kid. They paid him $300. It rained. Not a romantic drizzle. A mud-creating, hair-ruining downpour. The Sael had a meltdown in the park gazebo. The groom, who is usually a quiet guy, apparently snapped. He was heard shouting, "I told you to just pay him. I told you this would happen." He took his tuxedo jacket off, threw it in a puddle, and got in his car. He left the bride at the park. The photos, which the student posted on his portfolio, are tragic. The lighting is flat. The bride looks like a drowned rat in a designer dress. The groom looks like he's contemplating a life of crime just to escape. My ex-wife is trying to damage control. She sent me a text from a burner number yesterday. "X, you've ruined everything. My sister's marriage is falling apart because of you. I hope you're happy. Just give us the files and I'll make it all stop." I replied. "I can't give you what doesn't exist. And her marriage is falling apart because she married a guy she doesn't respect into a family that values appearances over people." Sound familiar? Then I blocked the number. I'm currently looking for a permanent apartment. I've started dating again, casually. It's nice. I went out with a girl last night who asked what I did. When I told her I was a photographer, she asked if I had a portfolio. I showed her. She didn't ask for free photos. She offered to pay for her half of dinner. I think I'm gonna be okay. Update 3. It's been 6 months. The divorce is final. The legal battle was less of a war and more of a slow suffocation of their entitlement. My ex-wife tried to claim half the value of my business. Since I built the client list during the marriage, she argued she was entitled to a share of future earnings. Dan, my shark of a lawyer, pulled a masterstroke. He deposed the Sil. He got her on record admitting that she and the family demanded free services. He used the text messages. He painted a picture of a family that viewed my business not as an asset to be nurtured, but as a cow to be milked dry. The judge, a man who clearly had his own in-law issues, was not sympathetic to her. The ruling, I keep 100% of my business and equipment. We sell the house. Proceeds are split 50-50 after I get reimbursed for the mortgage payments I made while I wasn't living there. No alimony. She is young, able-bodied, and has a degree. She can work. The house sold last week. The market is hot, so we made a decent profit. I took my half and put a down payment on a condo in the city. It has exposed brick and great light, a photographer's dream. The aftermath for them. My ex-wife had to move out of the marital home, obviously. She couldn't afford an apartment in the trendy district she loves. She's living in a basement suite in a suburb 40 minutes away. She had to sell her luxury SUV, which was in my name, lease transfer denied, and is driving a 10-year-old Honda. I heard she's telling people I financially abused her. Nobody believes her. The receipts are too public. The sale? Oh, this is the cherry on top. The groom, let's call him Dave, filed for annulment. Not divorce, annulment. He cited fraud regarding her finances. Apparently she had $40 in credit card debt she hid from him, and irreconcilable differences. He moved out 3 months after the wedding. The seal is back with mommy and daddy. She tried to pivot to being a wedding influencer on TikTok, posting videos about her wedding disaster. It backfired. People in the comments ripped her apart. So you tried to exploit family labor and found out? The photographer is a hero. Imagine losing your husband because you wanted free pics. She deleted her account. My former Mael and Fel are miserable. They lost face in their community. The free photographer story got around the country club. They are now the people who are too cheap to pay vendors. They weren't invited to the summer gala this year. As for me, my business is booming. Ironically, the assertive photographer who takes no BS brand is very appealing to a certain type of high-end client. I raised my rates to $6,000. I'm sitting in my new living room. I have a glass of good bourbon. My camera is on the table, batteries fully charged, memory cards formatted and ready. I learned a valuable lesson. Family is not a magic word that grants access to my labor. No is a complete sentence, and sometimes the most powerful photo you can take is the one you don't take at all. I'm free, and the view from here is perfect.